All right, this YouTube channel has pulled in 3.7 million views in just the past 3 weeks. This other channel has pulled in 4.9 million views. And this channel called Zane has pulled in 16 million views with just 2 months of posting. And what they all post is literally the exact same thing. Stickman animation used to tell explainer stories, and they are blowing up like crazy. I mean, Zane started posting just 2 months ago, and they already have a video sitting at 7.8 million views, which is honestly insane. And judging by the type of audience this niche attracts, we're looking at a healthy RPM of at least $8 per 1,000 views. Multiply that against the kind of views these channels are pulling, and you're looking at an absolutely insane amount of revenue. Now, there aren't a lot of detailed, beginner-friendly courses out there that actually teach you how to create videos like this using completely free tools. So in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Break down the entire workflow from branding your channel to writing your scripts, generating your visuals, animating your Stickman, creating your thumbnails, and editing everything together so it actually looks professional. And to make things even better, we're using a workflow that runs on any device, so anyone, anywhere can follow along and try this right now. Plus, somewhere in this tutorial, I'm going to share a really important tip that can help protect your channel from getting demonetized. And just to show you what's possible, take a look at this animation I made in like 10 minutes using the exact methods I'm about to show you.
What if I told you discipline has nothing to do with willpower? Stick with me here. You think disciplined people wake up buzzing with motivation. They don't. They just made the decision so small it wasn't worth arguing about. That's the trick. You're not lazy. You're negotiating. Every morning you sit there debating whether to start, and the debate is what drains you, not the work. So stop negotiating. Shrink the task until saying no feels stupid. Not go to the gym, just put your shoes on. Not write the essay, open the doc. Once you start, momentum does the rest. It always does.
So the very first step in this process is getting access to the master prompt, which you'll find either in the description or in my completely free school community. This prompt is what automates the entire flow. Once you've got access to it, all you've got to do is press Ctrl+A to select everything, Ctrl+C to copy it, and then head over to a chatbot. Now, I'm using Claude, but you can use ChatGPT or whatever model you want. We just need a chatbot that can process what we're about to give it. I'm going to paste the prompt I just copied into Claude and send it. Once I send it, Claude asks me for the model PDF, which contains all the reference data for the stick figure niche. To get this, head back to the master prompt, scroll down to the section that says something like model/source PDF and click on it. It takes you to a Google Drive, and all you've got to do there is click the download button to grab the 57-page PDF. Once you've downloaded the source material, upload it into the chatbot you're working with, type something like material attached, and send it away. Now, what the model does is tell you it has fully absorbed the PDF and it's ready to proceed. All you've got to do is type go. And once you do this, the model asks you what gender you'd like your character to be. Now, it depends on what kind of stick figure video you're trying to make. Choose whatever you want. I think I'm going to go with a male figure for the Stickman. What happens next is the chatbot gives us a character sheet with a full profile of the character we're working with. It gives you a preview so you can clearly see what it looks like and decide if you like it. This looks pretty good. I really like how it looks. So I'll copy this prompt, head over to a free platform like Google Flow, sign in with my Google account, and create a new project. Once I paste this prompt in and send it, I get a preview of the character the chatbot recommended. Now, if you don't like what comes out, you can always ask it to tweak a few things or change the character entirely. For me, I've got the character right here. He looks pretty decent, but I don't like the outfit he's wearing, and I don't like the hair. So I'm going to head back to my chatbot and say, change the hoodie to red, make him bald, and give him shorts. I just want something different from the default. And as you can see, the chatbot is now writing a new character profile for our video. So I'll copy this new sheet, paste it into Flow, and send it. The second character is ready, but there's a bit of distortion. Some parts have human-like drawings, and I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is take a screenshot, give it to the model, and say, make sure every part of him is Stickman styled. Then send it. Right now it's loading a new prompt, so I'll copy it, paste it into Flow, and hit generate. This one looks different. I'm just going to download the one I like best, which is this last one. It looks more Stickman-like. Once I do that, I'll head back to my chatbot, type locked, and send it. Once you type locked and send it, your chatbot tells you to type next, since it's finished the character profile creation. That means we now have a character we want to use. Now, once you've got the character you want, your chatbot gives you about 10 different topic ideas to pick from. If you like them, pick any one. But if you don't want them like this, you can always ask it to give you new topics, maybe in a fitness niche, a finance niche, whatever. For me, I think I like idea number 1, so I'm going to type 1 and send it. Now, once you do this, your chatbot asks, how long would you like your script to be? It can be anywhere from 30 seconds to 10 minutes. If you want longer, like 30 minutes, you can still ask it to make longer videos. It all depends on what you want. Since this is just a short tutorial, I'm going to pick 1 minute and send it because I just want something brief. Once I send it, the chatbot gives me the target word count, the cold opening, the patterns, and a brief 1-minute script based on what I want. This script looks pretty good. I like how it turned out. It's exactly what I asked for. It sits in the self-help Stickman niche, and I really like it. Now that I've got my script, I need a platform to turn it into a voiceover. Since we're using completely free tools, my first go-to is Microsoft Clipchamp. Clipchamp is an editing software, but it gives you access to a built-in text-to-speech model that lets you generate unlimited voiceovers, which is really cool. Another option is CapCut. CapCut also has a built-in text-to-speech model, and I'm pretty sure you can access it online too. You just have to sign into your CapCut account first. Now, these two give you unlimited text-to-speech generation, but the quality isn't that great. Another go-to I like is Noise AI. Noise AI gives you around 2,000 free credits every day. That's about 60,000 free credits a month to generate decent-sounding voices. They sound really good and have a couple of nice features, but the quality still doesn't match my favorite, which is 11 Labs. Now, 11 Labs is really cool because of what its V3 model does. It lets you add in emotional text. So for example, I'm on 11 Labs right now, and I've chosen the voice Mark on the V3 model. If I put laughs inside a square bracket and close it, it turns purple, which means whatever text comes after that laughs emotional toggle, my character is going to say it laughing. So it's like an emotional tag you use to control the voice. 11 Labs gives you crazy flexibility, and it's very high quality. It sounds very human-like. So you're not going to get demonetized for low-quality content. So for this, we're going with 11 Labs. I'm going to head over to my chatbot, copy the first chunk of my script, paste it into 11 Labs, and click Generate. I'll listen to how it sounds, then download it. Then I'll copy the second chunk, paste it in, and generate. Now, the reason we generate in chunks is because we don't want to overload the model with too much text. I normally aim for less than 100 words per chunk, so the voice doesn't sound glitchy or distorted. Once you're done with your voiceover generation, head back to your chatbot and type Next. Once you type Next and send it after generating the voiceover, the chatbot asks if you have a flow in mind for the animation. Basically, do you have a specific pattern or sequence you want the animation to follow? Now, some people misunderstand the flow. You can always ask AI to design one. In fact, our model is asking right now if we'd like it to design one from scratch. But I'm always an advocate for creativity. So you could take maybe 10 to 15 minutes to think about a flow, which is the exact sequence you want your animation to follow. You could say the character wakes up, goes to the kitchen, gets breakfast, showers, and leaves for work. What I've just described is a flow, a sequence of events. So right now, I'm going to take a few seconds to think about a flow, then paste it into my chatbot and send it. Now, once you send in the character sheet and the video's flow, once you send in the flow of the animation you want, your chatbot starts creating different character prompt sheets for your entire animation. Now, I wanted my animation capped at 15 seconds because I'm able to generate up to 15 seconds worth of AI clips. If you can't do that, you can ask yours to cap the generation at maybe less than 10 seconds or 8 seconds, depending on the model you're using. So for me, it's 15 seconds per clip, with each clip having multiple shots, which gives us about 4 different clips for 1 minute, since I'm making a 1-minute video. So far, everything's looking pretty good. I'll just let it write out the whole prompt. Now we've got all our prompts, and all we need to do is use them with a video generating platform. With the method I'm using, there's no need to generate images manually, because once we've got our character, which we created earlier, all we do is drop that character into different environments, and he stays consistent throughout the entire video. So, a couple of options for video creation. First up is Google Vids, which gives you access to a few different AI models. Just head over to your browser, search for Google Vids, and sign in. Choose the model you want for your video creation, and over here in the prompt box, you can paste in the prompt you want to work with. Another good option is Google Gemini, which gives you access to a couple of options. All you've got to do is click the plus icon and click Create Video, which changes the interface to something like this. Another good one is Google Flow. Just head over to Google Flow, sign in with your Google account, and create a new project. Then, down at the Nano Banana model option, switch from the image toggle to the video toggle, which gives you access to things like frame to video or ingredient to video. I'm going to choose the ingredient to video feature since we're attaching our reference, the character, as the ingredient, and then placing him in different environments. Once I select that, I'll set the aspect ratio, which is 16:9 for long form. The number of videos generated per batch is just 1. Down here, you can choose whatever model you want. There's OmniFlash, VO3 Lite, VO3 Fast, and a couple of others. I think OmniFlash is the best since it's the most recent model, so I'll select that and set the 10-second toggle. And that's pretty much it. Now, while these are all free models, I still like to test them against paid ones. So I'll head over to Higgsfield real quick and keep it on our tab. I'll sign in, and then I'm going to run the exact same prompt across all 4 models to see what the output actually looks like. So first off, I'll head over to Google Vids, select my aspect ratio, then head to my chatbot to copy prompt number 1. I'll paste it into Google Vids, and for some reason, it's not letting me upload a reference image, which normally isn't the case. Let me try again and see if that changes. Unfortunately, it doesn't let me upload a reference photo, which kind of sucks. So I'll just send the prompt as is and see what the output looks like. I don't think it'll be that great since our reference character wasn't given. Then I'll head over to Gemini, upload our avatar, the character we just created, and paste in the prompt as well. Then send it. I'll do the exact same thing on Google Flow. Upload the reference, paste in the prompt, and make sure to select the reference by clicking Add to Prompt so it's toggled in along with the prompt. Then send it. And then I'll head over to Higgsfield, upload our character, select it, and paste in our prompt. I'm using Cdance 2.0 right now, and I'll send it, just to see what the output looks like across all 4 models. Now, after a couple of seconds, we've got our videos. First off, let me preview what Vids made. I think something's wrong with Vids. It's not really creating or performing the way it usually does. It's worth a shout out, but it's unable to perform properly, so I'm going to remove it entirely. Let me check what Gemini did. Hey! Now, off the bat, Gemini looks pretty good. It was able to generate a 10-second video. The character consistency isn't that great, but so far it looks pretty decent. Now on to Flow. Yeah! Flow looks pretty good, but it's very short, 10 seconds as well, and somehow the model couldn't generate some of the scenes we asked for, and there are a couple of distortions here and there. And finally, Higgsfield. The result on Higgsfield is undeniably good. This looks very impressive. Our character stays consistent throughout, and you can clearly see the match cuts and multi-shots generated so effortlessly. Now let's try again. I'm going to copy prompt number 2 from my chatbot and paste it across all 3 models to see what the output is. Now that we've gone around, we can see Gemini did a wonderful job. I like the character consistency, I like how the scenes are laid out, and this round it performed way better. But then I checked Higgsfield, and Higgsfield seemed to perform really well. I like the clip it generated. The only problem I have is that the character here is inconsistent with our main character. So in this round, I think Gemini gave the best clips, but Higgsfield did a better job at emotion and adhering to our prompt. So I'm going to repeat this exact same process, pasting in my new prompt across every single prompt box over and over until I'm done with the whole scene generation. But then I checked Higgsfield, and Higgsfield seemed to perform really well. I like the clip it generated. The only problem I have is that the character here is inconsistent with our main character. I should do this at least 5 times since my video is just 1 minute long. But that's pretty much it. Now, once you finish generating every single clip you need, The next thing is finding a soothing background sound to use with it.
If you have a YouTube channel, head over to your YouTube studio and on the panel, click on the audio library. This gives you access to every monetizable audio you can use on YouTube completely free.
Now, there are other platforms you can use to get monetizable audio, but you'd have to pay for most of them. Some might be free, but the safest route is always to get your tracks from here.
You can filter by genre, mood, artist, whatever you'd like. Just search for the track you want and click the download button to save it to your computer. Find something kind of intense, but that builds up suspense, so you can use it for good retention.
It also has a bunch of sound effects you can download for your project, so it's a really good creator tool built right into YouTube Studio. Once you've got your audio, the next thing you need is an editing software to compile everything into your final video. And for this, we're using CapCut. Now, we're using CapCut because it's very beginner-friendly.
All you've got to do is create a new project on CapCut.
And then, what I like to do is store all my assets in a single folder. So I'll import that folder into my editing library right now. The first thing I'll drag onto the timeline is my background music, which I just got from YouTube. I'll crop it, reduce the volume to about -20 decibels, and use the magnifying lens to stretch the timeline so I can properly see what I'm working with. Then I'll drag my voiceover onto the timeline in the precise order I generated it, because remember, we generated in batches. Then I'll hold Control to select both voiceovers and bump the volume up to around 7.2 decibels. Once I do that, I'll crop the background track to make sure it's the exact same length as the voiceover, so it doesn't extend and give the video a blackout. Now, once I do that, I'll drag all the scenes I generated onto the timeline in the exact order I made them. Since I'm working with a 1-minute clip, I should have just 4 clips, about 15 seconds each. And what I'm going to do now is listen to my voiceover and crop my clips to make sure they match what's being said, so everything sits perfectly. Once you've made sure everything sits right, what I like to do is add a fade-out animation to the last clip. There's no need to edit too much since Cdance has already handled most of the multi-shot work for us. So what happens now is we just have to check that everything's synced to the voiceover. When the voiceover narrates a specific chunk, we display that section. And once you've done all that, you can add captions if you want. But I'm just going to export my video in 720p since I generated in 720p. This gives you the ability to upscale your video to 4K before you even create a channel. Now, once you've created your video, you need to make a thumbnail for it. And for that, head back to the chatbot we're using for this project and type next. This step is where your chatbot starts giving you multiple thumbnail variants we can use to create thumbnails specifically suited for this project. Now, I already have Google Flow open on the side since it's completely free, and I've toggled on the Nano Banana Pro model to generate my images. Now, I built it so you can generate multiple variants so you can pick whichever one is best for your project, or whichever one you like the most. So off the bat, I'm already seeing some really good quality thumbnails. I like the way the character has an expression, I like how the text is overlaid, the shadowing, and even the way the color placements are done. Everything looks pretty good. It's even able to create this slideshow style thumbnail, and it looks great. And this is all from a single, simple prompt. I like how this looks. I think I like thumbnail number 2 best, because it looks pretty good. Now we've got our thumbnail. Let's create a channel real quick and brand it. Now for the channel creation process, first we'll head over to YouTube to create our channel, and then head over to our chatbot and say, give me 20 channel name descriptions for a niche like this. And we get a couple of names. So I'll copy the one I like best, head over to YouTube, paste in the name, and create the channel. And just like that, we've got the channel created. Now I'm going to ask Claude to give me a short channel description along with a logo prompt. And right now we're given some really nice descriptions. I'll copy one, head over to my YouTube channel, click Customize Channel, which takes me to YouTube Studio, scroll down to the description section, paste in the description I just copied, and add an emoji to make it look cool. And for the logo prompt, it's given us a really good logo. So I'll copy one of the prompts, head over to Google Flow, and upload our reference character, the guy we created earlier. I'll add him to Flow again, paste in our prompt, and for the aspect ratio, I'll adjust it from 16:9, which we used for the thumbnail, to 1:1, because we need the box aspect ratio for logos to look good based on how YouTube displays things. I'll add the reference to my prompt and send it to see what the output looks like. Oh, Nano Banana couldn't create it. According to them, we've reached our limits, which kind of sucks. Let me just switch accounts real quick. So I just switched accounts and I want to create the images to see what the output looks like. This looks pretty simple. I expected more, but this is fine. I don't have a problem with it. So I'll download this image. Then I'll head over to Canva,
click Create, search for YouTube banner, and click a blank layout, which takes me to a clean, empty canvas to design on. Now, whatever we design has to stay within the center of Canva. It has to be inside this frame. What I like to do is write a simple text. So I'll click the text option and add text that says subscribe. Then I'll change the font to make it look good. Make sure it's centered in the middle and increase the size so it's big. This looks good. Then I'll export this simple thing. You can actually add more detail to yours, but I just want things to look simple, which is why I'm designing it like this. Placing it right in the middle so everyone across different devices can see this text. Because, YouTube tends to stretch and adjust your banner depending on the device a viewer is watching from. So I'll click Share, click Download, and save this banner I've just created. Then I'll head over to my YouTube studio, upload the logo we made alongside the banner, and click Publish. And once we head back to the channel and refresh the page, as you can see, this looks pretty good. This looks pretty impressive for a very simple Stickman animation channel. That's all for this one. Catch you in the next one.